There lived a great sannyasi in India. He stood for the unification of all religions and all creeds. He had an open mind. His name was Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was born at Calcutta. Actually, he belonged to a very noble family. His parents were Vishwanath Datta and Bhuvaneshwari Devi. The original name of Swami Vivekananda was Naren. This Bhuvaneshwari Devi, the mother of Swami Vivekananda, was a great bhakta. She was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He prayed Shiva for getting a son. There were no sons, that is, male children, in their ancestral family. So they decided to have a son. She always desired to have a son for her. She went to Kashi Vishwanath temple. Kashi Vishwanath temple is the temple of Shiva, a very famous temple in India. She went there and prayed a lot. She had done great offerings and pujas for getting a son. So, as a result of conducting these kinds of puja to Kashi Vishwanath, she got a child. She delivered a son, and the parents named the child as Little Naren. This Narendranath, that was his original name. He was a very intelligent boy from the childhood days onwards. He had high memory power also. At the same time, he was very mischievous also. At times, he becomes angry. In order to suppress the anger of Naren, his mother invented a plan. This boy was forcibly brought, and this boy was kept under a tap where there is a continuous free flow of water. So the mother placed little Naren's head under this tap, and the child was forced to tell the Nama of Lord Shiva. This mother asked Naren to have Namajava, and this Naren uttered the Lord Shiva's name. She also accompanied it. She also followed the very same path. This mother also uttered the names of Shiva. This was the method that the mother invented for suppressing the anger of Naren. After this, this Naren started showing different miracles. That means he was behaving in an extraordinary way, not like other children. He was a very kind hearted fellow. When the beggars and the poor people, when they come to his house, this little Naren used to give food, and also he used to give whatever things he had in the house. Little Naren had a benevolent attitude. He was really fond of helping poor and do charitable work. Now he continued doing like this, and he completed his BA degree also in one of the universities in India. When he was doing his BA degree, when he was studying in the college, one of his professor, English professor, his name was William Hasty. He was taking classes for him, and the subject was William Wordsworth's poem. William Wordsworth, he was a great philosopher, and he could read the mind of others also. He believed in divinity. At present, I do not remember which poem it is. The title of the poem is not known to me. I am eager to know the title of the poem. And also, I like to read that particular poem. Anyhow, William Hasty, the professor of English, head of the department, and he was the principal of that college also. He was handling William Wordsworth's poem. So, while teaching, he uttered two names. One is trance, 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 and another one is ecstasy. Actually, the word meaning of these two words are a permanent joy or bliss. As soon as this little Naren or Narendran, when he heard these words, he asked the professor of English to explain in detail the word meaning of trance and ecstasy. As a reply to this question, William Hasty, his professor, advised him that one great thing. He advised him to meet a great person, and it was none other than Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And he also said, these words cannot be explained in words or sentences. This is something to be experienced. If you want to get this kind of experience, you have to meet Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Swami Vivekananda had this in his mind. He kept it. He had sympathetic attitude not towards human beings alone, but also to the animals and birds. He kept animals and birds as his companion. So many good marriage proposals came to him, but he rejected it. He disliked marriage and he said that he don't want to marry. One of his friends, after hearing this, said, if you are not marrying and if you are remaining as a bachelor, it is better to engage in spiritual path. And he also suggested the name of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Once Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came to visit Naren's friend's house. There, this Naren was invited by his friend and also he was asked to sing a song. He was a good musician also. He was very brave and bold and a great musician also. And he sang beautifully. It was a very good music. And this Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa noticed this and he was also very much interested in him. When the very first time of their meeting, Sri Ramakrishna noticed Vivekananda. There were some special attitudes. He could read all this from his face. And Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also invited Swami Vivekananda to his abode. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was a priest. He had no sufficient schooling. He was a priest in the Dakshineshwara temple, Calcutta. He was a priest to the goddess Kali. He was always engaged in meditation. Anyhow, this Swami Vivekananda, he had a great religious fervor, spiritual fervor, and he decided to go and meet Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in his abode, in his ashram. He had an ashram of his own. And Swami Vivekananda went to the ashram of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. There, when he saw Swami Vivekananda, he opened the door and invited him. He caught hold of his hand and he was asked to sit. The doors automatically it was closed. At first, Vivekananda thought Sri Ramakrishna was a madman. But later, Vivekananda realized he was a great sage and he was not an ordinary person. He was not interested in the outward matters. He was actually searching for the self. And Swami Vivekananda met Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also pleased him very much, and he gave him butter and sugar candy to eat, and also said, I was waiting for you for a long time. This is the time fixed for God, by the God. So I am glad to see you. You are a great person. You are going to be a great person. And he blessed Swami Vivekananda also. And the very first blessing itself, he had a sensational effect all over the body. And the meditation, it was taught by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. This initiation for meditation was given by Sri Ramakrishna to Swami Vivekananda. Only with an initiation by the Guru, a disciple can start. Without it, nothing is possible. So that was the first meeting of the Guru and the disciple. And Swami Vivekananda once came to Kerala, and seeing the caste distinctions, there are so many castes in Kerala, caste and subcaste. So human beings are divided in the name of caste. Once he remarked that this place is a lunatic asylum. That means only mad people can do like this. Anyhow, once he had an opportunity to visit Kanyakumari, Cape Comorin, in the southernmost part of India, where there is a seashore. Looking by the side of the seashore, he looked ahead. There is a rock in the middle of the sea. All around the rock, it was fearful sea. See, now he asked a ferryman to arrange a boat so that he can cross the seas and reach the rock. But the ferryman demanded more money. The boatsman asked him for more money. Swami Vivekananda was unable to do so. He had no money at that time. So he had decided to swim across the ocean. In the whole night, he swam across the ocean and reached that big rock. There he sat and meditated. Devi Kanyakumari appeared before him. Even now, when we go there, we could find the footprints of the goddess. The footprints of the goddess, it can be vividly seen on the rock even now. So Swami Vivekananda was a very brave man. He was totally against all caste distinctions. As a representative from India, he went to America to attend the World Conference of Religions. He went as the representative of India. The Chicago speech made by Swami Vivekananda, it is a noteworthy speech. It attracted very many. At first, he was called to address the audience. He went before the audience, but he was not able to speak because of the stage fright. He had no experience before. So he came down and prayed the goddess of education, Saraswati. Second time, when he faced the audience, he was able to speak in a well-mannered way. He addressed the audience as sisters and brothers. And there was a huge clap of hands. And everybody unanimously appreciated him. The great speech of Chicago. That is still there in the pages of history. Now, he predicted one thing. He would not leave after 40 years. That prediction came true also. At the age of 39, he got samadhi. He went inside a room and sat in meditation. He wanted to know the reality of the self. He believed in Tattvamasi. He also believed in Adi Shankaracharya's Advaita philosophy. In search of God, he went to several places. But at last, in the presence of Swami Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he realized the self. So he entered a room and he also requested his disciples not to disturb him, that he wanted to meditate. And at that night, while he was sitting in meditation, he passed away. He entered the samadhi. Even now, Swami Vivekananda is known everywhere. Everybody is following his principles.